Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Press Play Lifestyle Inspired podcast. I'm your host, Jackie Schwab, and our podcast helps our listeners find the resources, tools, and support to be their best inspired self. Today, we have a special musical guest, and we're going to let Brady introduce himself. So, you want to say hi to the audience for us today?
Hello, thanks for having me on today.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So where are you finding yourself today? Are you stuck at home with the rest of us?
Yes and no. I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I am mainly at home, but I am also a mental health therapist. So I do have to go into the office and see people occasionally, but I do a lot of what they call telehealth now due to everything that's going on. But I do still see some patients.
Yeah, that's amazing. So sort of on the front lines on the mental health side, have you seen an increase in mental health struggles during the same time right now as well?
There is, but doesn't seem like too many people are reaching out, unfortunately. I mean, there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression. I mean, people were kind of locked in, and at least for here, it's been, over 3 weeks. And, we do have, sort of an end date, before it was 2 weeks and now it's extended a month, as we all know. And that kind of, hit people hard. Us Americans, we don't like to get locked in, so we tend to not follow the rules all the time. However, but people are, having a lot of anxiety issues, but not a lot reaching out due to the fact that, they're afraid, they don't want to come in the office. And counseling by what they call teletherapy is a little not as common yet, but probably after this it will be.
Yeah, that's interesting. I actually started my career in 2004, and the very first job I had was a software development for a telehealth company.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was back when video was something that was difficult and you had to code it. So
Yes.
I may have been around a lot longer than other folks have. But thank you for sharing a little bit about, what you have going on in your earn a living side of your life.
Yeah, that's right.
One of the fun things I found interviewing a lot of people that you're represented by Michael Stover, a lot of his folks are really interesting because they have both a musical side and then a private side where they're out there still kind of mingling with the rest of us and getting things done. So can you tell us how about you tell us a little bit about your music and where things are on that side of your life right now?
Sure. I mean, like you were saying, I a while back in my early years of playing, I was a full-time musician. It's a tough thing, it's hard to pay the mortgage on that and feed people in the house.
Yeah.
Unless you're just doing it yourself, then it gets a little bit easier, but still, it's still difficult. And as we know, the music industry is pretty much, almost shut down, other than living room concerts, which is cool, but not too many people are getting paid right now.
Yeah.
So with all that stuff, it's good to have definitely a backup job. And so yeah, I was a full-time musician. Played with various artists and did a little bit of touring and back in my earlier years. And then I got a job as a music director at a large church, and did that for probably about six years. And then I went back to school and got my master's in psychology and took down the road of counseling, but still played guitar. And as that kind of evened off a little bit, where I had my own practice and everything, I was able to spend a little bit more time focusing on my music and really kind of just wanting to put that album out that I always wanted to do, and just have some fun with it and see where it goes. And that's what kind of brought me here today.
Awesome, awesome. So what is your latest album?
It's called Passions Collide, and it's mainly a instrumental album. There's a few vocal tracks on it, but it's mainly an instrumental album of a combination of my musical passions. That's why it's called that, and that would be rock guitar. I love the rock guitar sound, and my other love, which is flamenco guitar.
Oh, interesting. So what's the difference between the two? Or is it just a different style, or is it completely?
Yeah, they're pretty far away from each other.
Okay.
One obviously has the electric sound to it. The other one is mainly what they call nylon string guitar, or the Spanish guitar sound.
Oh, okay.
And it has its roots in Spain, and it has a lot of folk vibes to it, and it's really pure, and it has a lot of history going back to the gypsies, and so it has some neat history to it. But I just love the sound. I love the dynamics of it, and the virtuosity of it. And I started out playing classical guitar, and I heard a piece by a flamenco guitarist, and I kind of fell in love with it. So I started to study that as well. And I knew if I was going to do a record, I wanted to do something different than just your ordinary, instrumental guitar player, Guitar Hero album. I wanted to combine some different elements to it. And so, that was sort of my journey in completing this.
Yeah, yeah. I see also, like, when I was looking at your, different media and your outlet, your website
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, you do like guitar tutorials. And so is that really like the place your passion for music came from, was on the guitar side?
I was a music teacher for probably about 15 years. So I taught guitar as a part of my living. So that's just always been a part of me. But so I enjoy teaching, and now that I don't really have much time for private one-on-one students, I kind of just do these little videos from time to time just to have fun. And plus, with all the social media platforms, it kind of gets you out there, kind of for free. So you
Yeah.
can't pass that up.
Awesome. So what are some of the so I know I'm limited in my like specific guitar. My husband though has decided he's gonna learn guitar a couple years ago.
Mhm.
And one of my favorite artists and favorite guitarists is Keith Urban. And he
Mhm.
also said he's got some really good um tracks out there to teach you sort of how to play guitar. Do you have like artists that are the ones that like inspire you a lot? I think you had mentioned flamenco guitarist, but not necessarily a name. Are there like people that really inform your style or that really inspire you in your work?
I have a lot of influences over the years. Um, from electric guitar to the flamenco guitar as well. Um, names such as the standard names that in rock guitar, which would be like Randy Rhoads and Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, Eric Johnson. Those are pretty big names in that genre. And then Pocket Cecilia, he was big in the flamenco, and Strunz and Farah, and so yeah, there's a lot of people that I listen to, that I try to get inspiration from, and try to I just love learning the guitar. It's a passion of mine, and if it's good, I definitely like to listen to it, and hopefully I can learn something from whoever's teaching it.
Yeah. Is it true that like when you were younger, you started to play guitar and your instructor basically said, you're going to suck at this, you might as well do something else?
Yeah, I mean, it was like my first guitar lesson, and um, yeah, it was pretty intimidating. I was young, and just he was a teacher that just had little patience. It seemed like, and I don't remember much. I just remember walking out, and I was kind of excited because I was starting, but he kind of pulled my dad to the side and said, he doesn't really have what it takes. Um, and my dad, he kind of shared that with me, but I was like, okay, let's find somebody else. So
Yeah.
I was kind of determined to play the instrument, and just because I was unfortunately intimidated at the time and was probably nervous, it shouldn't really be assessed after the first lesson if someone can play or not.
Yeah. Did that inform how you taught your students at all?
Oh yeah. It's always, the encouragement's always the best. I mean, you don't have to be, uh, taking guitar lessons to be a rock star, or join a conservatory or something like that, or you just whatever you want to do with it, and it could be just playing for yourself, it could be playing for your family. Sometimes it's just therapeutic to play an instrument. You'll never regret playing an instrument.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've learned that.
I learned to play the accordion when I was about 10. So that's my
Hmm.
big claim to fame. I'm not rocking that
Sure.
concerts or anything.
Yeah, but yeah, I still think, no matter what instrument it is, you'll never regret it.
So you also, there's a lot of mentioning, and you kind of glossed over it quickly as well, but you seem very active in your worshiping community as well.
Hmm.
Is that true? Just kind of seemed to sneak in, but I wasn't sure if that was true.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've been um, either working for or volunteering in my church for a very long time. And that's been a part of my life almost all my life. And so, yeah, I have a very deep, deep faith in God and in Christ, and so my values and morals kind of line up with the Christian side of things. And right now, I'm at what they call a non-denominational church, and it is one of those large mega churches. So, we have a lot of services on the weekend. Not right now, but when
Mhm.
things are normal, we tend to have a lot of services, and I do a lot of playing there as well.
Yeah. So what's the difference for you with like a mega church versus sort of a non-mega church? I mean, I hear
Hmm.
that all the time, that word, but I'm Catholic. Our churches aren't mega. They're kind of smaller. Um,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
kind of curious.
Uh, yeah, it's when they started, I started out, when I started out like playing at churches, I think I would be considered almost a small group. I think there was 10 of us. So I've come from that, and I grew up Catholic as well. So, I'm familiar with the traditions, and even played acoustic guitar at some services. Um, and then, but you know, I had the gift of playing electric guitar, and I know that wasn't going to work in the Catholic Church.
Yeah,
But I
not going
wanted
to
to,
happen.
I wanted to give that gift, definitely over to God, because I feel He blessed me with it, and I wanted to use it for Him as well, not just for my own purposes. And the churches that were kind of, embracing that were these more contemporary places. And
Yeah.
then, so you start to find, get into one or two, and the church that I do now is it's called a mega church because I guess there's thousands of people that come on a weekend. um, but it didn't start out like that. It started out maybe 200 people when I was there, so it kind
It
of
just
just I
means
kind
big, right?
of grew with it. Yeah.
Fair enough. Uh, so another thing that's really interesting that there's not a lot of info on there, maybe, but this idea of the guitar freaks, can you tell us a little bit about the sideshow of Flying Fingers?
Oh, sure. It's well, it was supposed to debut in March. um, that got pushed a little bit.
Little.
But it was, you know, my cousin, he's my distant cousin. He's a guitar player, and he lives in the area as well. And he did some international touring with a bunch of guitar players and stuff like that. And we just we got together and we said we wanted to put a show together. Kind of like cousins, and kind of make it like this Guitar Hero type show. Come down if you like guitar music. And, so we called it the Guitar Freaks, and kind of have like a little circus theme going on just for advertising, and got really good response. And we had to postpone. So hopefully when all this is over, we can reschedule all the shows and continue on with wherever that goes.
Yeah, actually the advertising looks like a ton of fun. You guys are kind of wearing some fun clothes and at the Hard Rock, which, of course just adds to the cool factor. So hopefully
Yeah.
that happens, right? Looks like right now,
Yeah.
fingers crossed for May, right?
Yeah. We're hoping.
Awesome. Well, Bradley, is there anything else you'd like to tell the audience about yourself or your music or where they can find it that you'd like to share with us?
Sure. You can definitely find me anywhere on the best place to go is my website, www.bradynovotny.com. On there is going to be all the links to Spotify and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. And then there's, obviously on that page is where you can, if you like the music and you want to support, you can always buy the physical copy or the digital copy, and that would be much appreciated. But yeah, all of the links are right there, but you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You just got to type my name in, and there I'm at.
Awesome. So any parting words as, kind of your second life, your second career, as people are sort of dealing with the anxiety of the epidemic that's kind of out there right now, as well as just sort of trying to figure their way through a quarantine that's new for everyone. As a mental health professional, do you have any kind of high-level guidance or some tips for people to kind of make it through sanely?
Well, anything with depression and anxiety, you want to always reach out to, right now you just got to reach out to your support. Though we're social distancing, that doesn't mean you can't reach out on phone. You can FaceTime, you can Skype, you can do all that stuff. And sometimes you just need to talk. You need to hear that other person's voice. And, when you're in community like that, that really helps with easing some of the pain, because we're all going through it. So we can all empathize with each other. And some of us have different struggles and everything, with it. Some people are completely out of jobs, and some people have to go to work constantly, if you're in that healthcare field. So, we're all in this together, and just reach out to, whoever it is that, if it's family or friends or whatever. But also, if it gets too serious, you should also take advantage of any counselors in your area. We're all doing teletherapy now, and it's not difficult. It's actually, it's nice to have someone that's, not going to try to pass judgment on you for what you're thinking or not. It's somebody that can actually help. And so take advantage of that. And then there are hotlines out there, of course, that you can call. So, take advantage of some of these things right now. You're not completely alone. And sometimes you just need to talk. And so I encourage people to do that.
So I think one thing that I've heard a reframe on that I really loved was, it's not, we have to almost be careful with the word social distancing. We're really physically distancing, but we still need to be connected in community, because loneliness is one of the worst places to be.
Yes.
So don't stop talking to folks, just stop standing next to them when you talk to them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome.
Or at least 6 feet.
Yeah, 6 feet, exactly. I saw a funny one where it reminded me of The Devil Went Down to Georgia, but someone said the devil's whispering in the air, and they turned back and said, "Not if he's not 6 feet away from you."
Right.
Made me smile.
That's right.
Okay. Well, it was super nice meeting you, and I really appreciate it. I know you're really busy with helping folks out there that are challenging times right now, but I'm excited about your music, and I can't wait to hear more. So thanks so much for your time today.
All right. Well, thank you for having me on.
All right. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye-bye.
You take care. Bye.